This is episode 1 of We Might Be Crazy,
There you
and I forgot to hit record.
go. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Well, actually, I think the most important thing is to start off with why you and I are having this conversation. So I reached out to you because you recorded a reel
Right.
um, that really resonated with me, and it kind of inspired the title. It inspired, I guess, the conversations that we're having. And yeah, it would mean a lot to me if you could again explain, I guess, your kind of thoughts behind that reel and kind of how you came to put it out.
Yeah, of course. Honored that it inspired something so awesome, but it was again like it's so silly. Like I was just sitting in here trying to get content done for a for a program that I'm doing called Rhythm with Mogul, and I just needed to get
Just
content made.
quickly, just for the viewers, explain what Mogul House is.
Yeah, Mogul House is a collective of artists that happen to be streamers from Orange County, California, LA area, and we all just like celebrating artists. And so we have a show every Saturday called Mogul House Live here on Twitch. I say here on Twitch. We're not on Twitch, are we? I kind of forget about that.
We are in the realms of the internet
We
somewhere
are,
that
we are. So in somewhere in the well, we're on all kinds of platforms, of course, but like our main thing is we love to do this show that just celebrates artistry and just talks about what you like, what you dislike, what like just an artist's view of their art. And it's just a great space for us to kind of bolster that and give people a platform to talk about their music and honestly feel like the little kid talking in the mirror as if he had an interview with Vogue or whatever, or GQ or whatever it is, Rolling Stone. Like everybody did that at some point. They pretended that they were Mick Jagger. Like everybody wanted something like that.
So you're
So
doing
we
this thing called Rhythm.
Yes. And so the rhythm is essentially it's essentially what we did with the Endy Brothers early last year, and then released Caffeine from. Uh,
Super good tune.
so
Super.
awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. I love what they did with that tune. Just beautiful. And so they came out for that intensive, and this is kind of this is our structured version on allowing that to be accessible to more than just our reach and circle, where you can actually put in an application and say, hey, like I'd like to be a part of this, and we can kind of help you along and kind of figure out what it would take to kind of get you in the same space, and you'd have access to the members of Mogul and all that they offer.
So wait. Are you saying that there might be an opportunity for little old Aiden Somerville to fly off to Orange County and hang out with you cool cats over
I
at
am
Mogul?
saying that within the coming months, you will get information that just may exactly mean that.
Oof. Ooh. You heard it here, folks, guys.
You
You
know,
heard it here first, folks.
I
Right.
don't even know if I was supposed to say that, but you got it, so it's okay.
I mean, I've got like 500 subs on my YouTube channel, so it's small, but hey, you heard it here first.
Yes,
So you made this reel, and yeah, it really, really resonated with me, just in
I'm
a way that I didn't think it would.
honored.
And yeah, tell us, like, honestly, just run us through
Yeah.
thoughts.
So
Yeah,
going back to like the reason I was making that content was for the rhythm, but the
yeah,
rhythm thing was like it's just like, oh, you need to get content on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and like I wasn't doing that. I was so dead on these platforms. Twitch was
yeah.
where it was at for me. I was like, all right, I like this. I get constant people just talking to me. I don't need these other platforms, but you do. Like as a musician, you need to be expanding, and I knew that. I just was lazy and I didn't want to do the work. So at a certain point, I was like, I got to turn the camera on. I got to want to do this. Like this is my day job. Like I have to do this. This is my 9 to 5. So I was like, okay. I popped on my phone and I just started quipping random things right before I did a song. Um, and like I did one that was like just the dumbest things, just to get people involved, just to see like, would you want to view this because of this? Like this is my favorite song of my best friend's favorite artist. Like, who even says that? Like, what does that even mean? But like, it's exactly what it means, but people, so then this one was crazy, and I knew I wanted to do crazy because I wanted to kinda thank the people that got me to the place that I could quit my day job and pursue music, and the quit for that one was I quit my day job to pursue music full time. And then does that make me crazy? I mean, it's I
We
feel
might
like
be
it
crazy.
does.
We might
We
be
might be.
a little bit crazy.
I think so. I think we all are, and that's okay. But I just, like, I it still boggles my mind that I could even post something
That
that
line, right? That line that
that line,
relates to you quitting your
like,
day job to pursue music full time.
like, it makes me teary-eyed, like, the fact that, like, I've been a kid wanting to do this for so long, and then just finding a platform that was open-armed and, like, "Oh, I want to invest, like, I want to see what you do and your artistry and all that stuff." It was like, wow, like, okay, I have a platform, I have a crew of people that want me to do this. Like,
Mm,
I mean, I knew that Twitch was beautiful when I announced that I was an affiliate, and the very next day I had a stream. And the very first thing that happens, I'm about 20 minutes in, the Endy Brothers raided me with 100 people. And I was the first time I even ever like I had a raid before, but it wasn't anything crazy.
mm,
It was super helpful to me at the time. And I think people don't understand raids of all kinds are helpful.
of
Like
course.
when it's 2 or 200, it doesn't matter. Um, but, like, this one was 100, and I didn't even know what to do with myself. My computer starts lagging, I'm all over the place, didn't start playing music for, like, a good 2 minutes, and, like, they're just like, "Play us some music," like, "Play us something," and I'm like, "Okay, alright," and then I start playing, and so, like, that is so much different, and it just opened that world, and it's just mind-boggling that that is my reality, and I don't have to work a day job, and I can just do that.
I'm
Like,
really curious to hear about though, like what emotions were you feeling when you actually like what were the things that led up to the point where you were like, all right, I'm now gonna like have a run at this. I'm gonna have a legitimate go at like, can I make this work? Like, what are the things that led up to that point? And like, how did you feel when you kind of like in your head, like, all right, I'm gonna do it?
I was at work when this happened. Which was great. It was fantastic. This was like, "Oh, baby, I'm only here for 2 minutes." Like, that's it. No, it was like I got a text, I'd been playing with a top 40s band,
Yep.
for a little bit, and I got a text that basically said, "Hey, we wanna book you for 3 more gigs this month." And I
Oh,
was like, "Okay, that's awesome." And then I was like, "Man, like, I don't know how I'm gonna get this time off, like, they're not gonna give me this many, weekends off." And, I was texting my girlfriend mid-shift, but they don't need it doesn't matter, I don't work there anymore, they can't fire me. Um, and I was texting her, I was like, I don't know what I should do, like, I'm not gonna be able to get this time off." And she's like, "Well, just see what you can say." As I was texting her, I got another request for a gig from another venue for 2 more, gigs for the next 2 months. And I was like,
alright.
I texted her and I just texted her a screenshot and I was like, "I don't even know what to do right now. I just texting you the screenshot. I'm gonna go serve this table and come back." And, came back and looked at my phone and she's like, "I think you need to quit your day job." And I was like, "Okay, I guess this is really happening."
Yeah,
And, yeah, I mean, just ever since then, it's been like I mean, I just played a gig, yesterday.
yeah.
So, I mean, it's insane. But that's how it came to be. It was at work, on shift, not doing my job.
And it just happened in the space of what, like half an hour? You just like
Yeah, I mean, I'd been playing gigs and already knowing that I'd been, like, asking for a lot of time off. So I
mm,
was like I was already gonna cut back my hours, and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna take, like, 2 more days off of work," which was already, like I'm not making all that much here.
yeah.
Um, I'm working mornings, like, nobody's here. It's been
Mm,
really slow recently. Like, I'm not making a lot in different, in tips or anything like that. Like, I hardly made anything in tips, to be honest, which maybe speaks to my service, I don't know. But the the whole thing was just like, I'm already thinking about taking so much time off,
Mm.
and having that text come through when I was talking about having a meeting with my manager, it was like, this is just it's time. It's
It's
time.
sometimes these moments just happen where, like, you are thinking about doing a thing, and then something else happens that is like, it might be related, might not be related, but it kind of just solidifies this idea
Yep.
in your head. You say, like, whatever you need to rationalize it to yourself. I got made redundant. That's like,
Right.
I'm just gonna do it now. Like, things just
Right.
happen that seem to line everything up, and you just
Right.
like, now's the time. We're gonna do it.
Right. And,
Yeah.
like, I had that experience with Twitch too. Like, when I started Twitch, the first week, I first of all, I didn't even want I don't wanna say I didn't wanna go to Mogul. I almost didn't go to Mogul. I was working that day. They called me the night before at, like, 10 at night, and I was, like, coming home from a recording session with my bassist, and we were tracking some stuff. My friend calls me up and says, "Hey, I'm a part of this collective. My friends really need an artist this week, and I know you will do it." And I was like, "Look, I haven't played in a really long time.
Yeah.
Like, I was dealing with a lot of stuff at the moment. The last place I wanted to be was in front of a camera being interviewed." And but she just kept saying like, "No, like we really need you. Like, please. Like, I'm practically begging you. Otherwise, they're not going to have a show this week." And so I showed up. I told them I would show up. I showed up. I met the guys, and they sound checked, and I just played some songs that I'd written over the course of however long it was, and I just sat there and I was like, "This is so much cooler than I thought this was gonna be." And it wasn't even like I thought it was gonna be bad. Like, I just was like, "This is so interesting," and it just brought joy back into playing for me at a time where I didn't feel unhappy with it. I just felt uninspired, and it just was
Wait, in
like
terms of timeline, so was that live, that event that you did with Mogul, was that your first kind of experience with Twitch? Or had you
Uh,
kind of
I had used Twitch for gaming purposes in the
okay.
past. I'd never dove into the music because at the time that music was happening when I was on Twitch,
Mm,
it was all DJs and kind of EDM stuff.
yeah.
And I'm sure there were other artists. I just didn't see them
Kinda
and they
see what
weren't
rises to
there.
the top, right?
Sorry?
You see what kind of rises to the top, which is
Right.
mostly DJs, pretty much.
Right, and it's kind of beautiful right now. I've noticed so many more, like, solo artists and bands, like, Risky Biscuit's been on there, there's been, we've had so many great art. Nathan V's been over there, who's real
Yeah.
close to me right now. I think he lives down the street from me, so,
We
like.
actually got a raid from Nathan V probably last stream, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Drop by.
Oh,
Yeah, I love Nathan.
Nathan's awesome. Awesome dude. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many people that I was like, wow, in the span of me streaming for a year, like I have such a community. But that was my first exposure to music in the Twitch world. Besides DJs, EDM artists, that kind of thing.
Wait, did you know it was gonna be live streamed, or did you think it was just gonna be a recording?
I knew it was gonna be live streamed.
Yeah,
They told me that in advance.
yeah.
I knew it was on Twitch too, but I was like, I to me, it didn't phase me. Like I mean, in Southern California, it's like people do this kind of stuff all the time. Like they'll do random shows or random things, but I just never was really a part of it. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it because why not? Like I might as well. I don't have anything going on except work. Like I just have to go from work to home, shower, and leave, and be there. I didn't really know what to expect, and to be perfectly honest with you, I don't remember what I was even thinking. I was just like
Swept up with it all, right?
I was just, like, there. I just kinda showed up, and I was like, "Alright, I'm here," like and then I walked in, and it was like, "Wow, this is like a whole set," and, like
Cameras, they've got angles, they've
well,
got,
and,
like, someone
like,
doing production on the background, like, damn, it's a whole thing.
it's the beautiful thing is, like, when you watch Mogul, it's so much more simplified than what they do. I mean, like, you know
What do you mean by that?
there's not a day that they've had an artist that they didn't cook food for. Like, they don't do that. They don't like Bishop will not do that. He will not have an artist and not cook for them or at least get takeout. He won't do it. Um, he's
I
just
kind
that's just it's just
like
him.
like and like that's kind of like really like makes me really happy because
Yeah,
Bishop does give off that kind of like vibe on stream.
best
And
host
it
ever.
kind of makes me really happy that like that continues kind of off stream and yeah, amazing. I love that.
It's just like, and everyone has different experiences with everything, but like I can honestly say every single time I've been at Mogul House, the artist has been like, I love what you do here. Like, this is amazing. And like, you fed me, like, you paid for my Uber to get here, like, you made sure that everything was covered. Like, that's just what we like to do. And that's not me saying that for any other reason than like, that was shocking to me. And it was like, I showed up and they were like, oh, yeah, we have food for you. Like, all this. And I was like, what? Like, that was unheard of to me. As an artist, it's like, no, you just get, bandwiches in the back and you shut up and take it. Like, that's just kind of what it was. And that's fine. But it was like, it was such a culture shock to be like in a house, a home. Like, as much as it's the Mogul house, it feels like a home. Like, it just feels comforting and welcoming.
They don't Heathy and Bishop live there?
Yes. So at least they stay there, and then they have like his studio in the back, and then they have moguls as well. So it's as much as like it is a functional home, like it just feels that way. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like a studio, but it's like the welcoming part of it. I don't know. It was so interesting and like so much positivity. So like when I saw all of that, like just all those elements, it was like, wow, like I really want to be a part of this.
Hmm.
And that was when they started saying like, oh, we think you could easily do Twitch and be like successful and do all this stuff. And I was like, I don't know. So like,
Did
okay,
it sing from them? Were they like, did they have to really like?
it did. I was kind of like, this is cool. I like it. I like the idea of doing it, but I feel like I'm gonna get burnt out in like 20 minutes. I'm gonna try to set up OBS and be like, this was fun. I loved it. That was great. That was really cool. I hit live once. Like, that's the way I felt like I was gonna be. And it wasn't until the next week they invited me back. They said, come by again, like hang out, just be here. You don't, even if you're not playing, you can still hang out.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't have anything going on Saturday. I felt welcome there. I felt like a group of my friends asking me to hang out. I was like, okay, I'll show up. And it was the Indie Brothers. And
That would have
Tom,
been
it was incredible. And Tom said, hey, I saw your in fact, you know what? I think it was the week after, because I think it was Michael Barnum as well. And he said something like, oh man, like Darin, if you're watching. And I was like, dude, the fact that you even watched my thing, why? Like, nobody knows who I am. Why are you watching this? And like, and then the next week was the Indie Brothers, and it was like, oh no, we watched your video. We loved your music. And I was like, dude, why? I don't get it. I don't understand. And then they explained it to me, and it wasn't until Tom told me, because I was trying to set up stream at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, my quality is just not where I want it, this, that, and the other. And he's like, he just gave me so many pointers that I was like, oh, I have a to-do list to go home and do. And for whatever reason, whatever Tom said to me, I don't even remember. It was something about a cam link that I never bought, and like a bunch of other stuff. It was like, oh, I'm ready. Like, I have a list. Like, I'm gonna go home and do this. And it just blossomed from there. So I attribute every bit of me being on Twitch to both Mogul House and the Indies, and Tom specifically.
I actually watched a bit of your first stream. I kind of wanted to, because you had it on YouTube, so I'm like, all right, let's do a little bit of research. And I kind of loved the like the technical difficulties coming on. I think you had the microphone, like as soon as you went live, you're just like, oh yeah, this isn't working, and then you went back to your BRB screen. I'm like, yes, this is it.
Yep. Yep.
this is it. I
And
remember
that's
hopping on the
Twitch.
stream and just being like, "Oh, I don't know what rating is. I'm just gonna click end stream."
Did I really end the stream?
Oh, no, that was all me. That was me.
Oh, okay.
Like ending stream, and then just kind of like piecing out and not rating. It's just like,
I was gonna say, because if I did that, I would have been like, that would have been evidence of me doing exactly what I like ingrain into everyone not to do, which is like, I'm like, no, always raid. I don't care if you have, I don't care if you're the only viewer, just raid. Just go in there, go say hi to someone else.
and
And
it's so funny you say that though, because I have so many people who like raid in with 1 or 2 people,
yeah,
and they apologize to me. There must be people on Twitch who are just like, "Why are you raiding with 1 person?" Like, I can't imagine why are you apologizing to me?
I mean, I feel the same though, because if I pop into someone's stream and it's just me, I have to, I had to turn my viewer count off, because I'm one of those people that looks at it and kind of gets like discouraged if it's low, and like a little too nervous if it's high. Like I just needed to be rid of that. And
Yeah,
like I have my, if my audience that I want to interact with, and I say audience, that's just, if my community
yeah,
is talking to me, that's all I need. If there's no
completely.
one in there that's completely different, I'll just play music. Like
Yeah,
it's fine. And I think what people don't understand at the beginning and in the middle, but really understand at the end when they have all those viewers,
yeah.
is that the viewership matters for analytic purposes of partner and all that stuff, and matters absolutely none for your community. It just doesn't. And like, so when I raid with one person, 2 people, 3 people, whatever, it's like, yeah, it makes me feel bad, because I'm like, oh no, like I'm only raiding with this many people. And then I realized like, yeah, but if I got a rate of 3 people on any given stream when I was starting my first 2 weeks, I would have been mind blown. So it's just,
Wasn't it?
you just kind of have to refocus, recenter yourself, and realize like, it doesn't matter how far you've gone this way. You have to remember where you were at this point and find the middle ground, and realize like, this is still beneficial to the person either way.
Have you heard of a concept called 1 is greater than 0?
I don't think I have.
So, dude named Gary Vaynerchuk might have heard of him. He's pretty big on Instagram,
Name
YouTube.
sounds familiar, but I'm really bad with names. So
He's basically like a he's a hype man. Like he is
okay,
probably the optimistic person I've ever seen in my life. But the way
gotcha.
he interacts and builds communities is really something that everyone can learn from. 1 is greater than 0 is a concept that, regardless of whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 100 people, the fact that you have had that one person come across your stream is just, it gives you infinite possibilities.
Right.
In the realm of like the multiverse, like there
Yeah.
is infinite possibilities that can happen when 1 is greater than 0.
Right.
So always take those chances when,
Yeah.
even when you think that, this is just very small, like who knows what could happen from that. And that's kind of
Right.
how I see like the small raids. Like I really appreciate small viewers who come by, the small streamers who come by my stream, because
Yeah.
again, 1 is greater than 0, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, the thing about being a young, or I say young, like an early streamer, like you're in your first
Yeah.
period of like understanding what it means to raid, understanding what it means to do that. Like some of it becomes like a marketing standpoint, where it's like, well, you want other people to get to see your music too. So like, and so does the streamer that you're rating. Like this is what, like we were talking before, which I don't think we actually got that captured, but we were talking before about how I think that this community, as far as Twitch is concerned, is the only time I've ever felt the music community wasn't competitive. This
And it
is
was
what I mean.
because that was a fantastic statement. Can you repeat that again? Like, I
So yeah, I just feel like the Twitch music community is the only time in my career. I've been playing music for 20 years at this point. I mean, I started when I was 4. I started learning when I was 4. I started gigging when I was 10. Like I have never felt that I've had a community that I felt I didn't need to compete with
mm,
until Twitch. And that's just it. Like I felt so overwhelmingly positive from everyone who wanted me to succeed. Like, it's insane to me. We were talking about the Ender Brothers. It's insane to me that they wanted to raid with 100 people when they saw no benefit from that.
Mm.
Like, that to me was, why? What was the point of that? There was no business standpoint of that, but it was because they liked me as a person. They wanted me to get those viewers, and that shot me up. Like, there are just people who want you to succeed on this platform, and it has nothing to do with a business standpoint, which is mind-boggling in the music business because everything's competitive. Everyone's get more pre-saves than that person because I need to be on this playlist or on this algorithm. Twitch is not like that. And I just sit here and I do my music and I go raid somebody that I enjoy or that I haven't met yet and I'd like to meet. And I go in there and I meet them and I enjoy their stream just as much as I enjoyed streaming myself. And that is the complete difference. It is just, hey guys, let's have fun, sit in our studios, play some music for a couple hours, and then raid into another friend of ours and enjoy the company. And I don't know. So to me, that was always such a shock. It was like, why in the world is this community like this?
And the thing is, though, I think I have a theory that I want you to confirm. I think that because there is so much, I guess, positivity in our kind of just weirdly
Mhm.
conjoined communities, I feel like there's this kind of self filtering process where if someone comes on is only really kind of here for for people to watch them, they're here to grow. They're not really kind of just here to enjoy the process of sharing music with other people. I kind of feel like they just really just filter themselves out after a
Yeah.
long term because it can be difficult if you're not really here for, I guess, good purposes to kind of stick around with the platform. And you're left with these
Yeah.
like really wholesome, wonderful streamers at the
Yeah.
end who just want to see everyone succeed.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is like I've been I've been in multiple conversations with people where I'm like, okay, well, like, what about growth here? What about growth there? And not like in any negative or demeaning way or anything like that, but just like, how do we grow as a community? And one of the most profound things, I think it was Bishop that told me, he said, your viewers aren't stupid. They know what you offer and whether or not they like that. And if they don't, they won't be there. And the whole thing to me was viewers aren't stupid on Twitch to the point where they know that the people that are at the top doing gaming and all of that stuff have it all. They have everything that they need for financial reasons. They don't need any of that. And
Mm.
so it's only the people who really enjoy them, that will watch them. And so it's the same thing for music. It's like if somebody comes across as fake, only the fake people will want to watch that. And it's just that's it.
Wow.
I just blew your mind.
I've been trying to understand because I have never seen a community anywhere on the internet. Not even, well, I guess even in real life, I've never
Mhm.
seen a community that is so positive and so wholesome. And I was trying to understand why,
Right.
because there are other areas on Twitch where it's not as wholesome.
Of course.
But then you come over to music. I can count on like my hand the number of times I've had someone come in and just be shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably the same. Like, I've probably had the same number of experiences as you. Like, it's very, very rare for it to be like, oh, this was a bad raid or this was a bad experience in this channel or they were being very aggressive. And like, I have to say even more to that point, like the amount of people who've come into my stream, raids or not, that I've actually had to like ban or kick or timeout or anything like that. Any of my mods have had to do. Shout out to Blue, by the way, for being an awesome mod, and Kenzie and Mel, awesome.
Wait. We say blue and fuego.
Blue and Fuego is the other. I'm sorry, different Blue.
Okay.
I'm gonna mess up the name. Is it? I think it's Blue Magus. Blue
Ah,
Magus.
yes.
I can't remember how to say that word. So I'm telling you, he's gonna kill me for that. But um, no, it just amazing. And Hello Pastel as well. It's another one of my mods. But like,
Prolific mods
just
across the community.
I do, and
Yeah.
they found me. That's a whole nother thing. Like finding your mods, it's like I used to think like, oh, I have to go find my mods and like find and do this and whatever, until I was like, well, I'm gonna have to do this myself because I don't have one. And
Yeah.
then at a certain point, Mel was helping me out and Pastel, and then finally I was Blue was in my stream for a little while, hung out, and he was like helping me do things as a viewer. And I was midstream when I was like, I'm done with this. And I just modded him. And then he just like started doing things. And he was like a hacker, like and I was like, and that's a whole nother part of the music community is the people who are right there by your side wanting you to succeed to the point where they'll be in every stream and they'll help you with making sure it's all tidy. But like going back, that whole point, you know, is basically based around the fact that like I've only actually had to have you know, my mods ban maybe on the count of two hands.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm being generous to the amount of negative people that would come through, that's the amount of people that I've actually had to take action towards, which is
It's
you would
insane.
never find that in gaming. You would never find that in these other platforms. Like, you would definitely have more people that were like, "You're awful, you're garbage," saying profane things, like saying very vulgar things. Like, none of that happens to the extent that it happens on other sections of Twitch. And I don't know, music community is just it's unparalleled, and I think it's on the cusp of becoming one of the next big things on Twitch, because as big as it is already, I think it's like I don't think people realize just how big it's going to become. So
Penny, for your thoughts. Tell us more about that because I have the exact same opinion.
I think the fact that I mean let me do a little I'm gonna do a little this will date this video.
Okay.
Let's see closure's live. Um let's see how many people are in the music. 29.9K viewers.
Yep.
29.9K. Less than 30,000 viewers in music category. Just chatting, 493,000. Valorant, 116,000. Like, it is hard for me to believe that this time next year, there won't be enough to at least tie Minecraft at 41.5 thousand or beat Overwatch 2 at 33.8. Like, the thing is like it's so catered to games right now until people find out what music is. And I see the music community stopping uh if I were Twitch, this is hi Twitch.
You are Twitch.
Um Hi Twitch, take my advice. Stop limiting the music category to the music category and start segmenting it into genre,
Oh.
because those artists are going to want to build a community within that genre. And I like that it's not right now because it's building more community around a bunch of different artists. But having tags doesn't, I never search a tag. I never search folk music or blues music or pop music. I don't do that. Like, I put those tags up there so if somebody does,
Click
but
on music, scroll. Oh, this person looks
just
kind of cool.
doing it right now. Like, look on music, boom, scroll, 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 scroll. Find somebody who's playing a guitar or playing a piano or playing an instrument that relates to my content, and then I'll raid them. But if I had one more section where I click music and then genre, boom, I'm already in the type of thing. Hey, we want to raid a hype person today. Hey, we want to raid a folk singer to keep it chill. Hey, we want to just do some instrumental music. That's what I need.
It's a really good idea. That is yeah.
I
That is
mean, in my
really,
opinion, it's the same as putting a game.
yeah.
We're playing music, but like we're playing a genre. And that's hard to define too, because not everyone fits into a genre, but that doesn't mean you have to be a part of a genre, but it could be a subcategory that you go to or something. I don't know. It's just like just chatting, having 493 viewers is the same for 1,000 viewers is the same thing. Like, I guarantee you, if these people wanted to segment it, it could be sports, it could be podcasts, it could be all kinds of stuff. And so that's what I mean by even more viewers is the more they refine the browse category of music and
Mm.
IRL, the more those things will become big. And I see the same thing coming in like the art community too. I have people that are gonna be joining Twitch doing digital art, like those platforms, food and drink, anything that's IRL based is going to be so much bigger than even Twitch realizes, as long as they continue to
Dude,
build
I
into their
think,
community.
like, have you noticed, um, the tendency for musicians to be on the front page, at least in the last year?
Oh, in the last couple weeks,
Yeah. Like,
it's been 3 to
there's a
1.
I think there's a realization that Twitch has that eventually, like,
Yeah.
this is a hot take, this is a spicy take. I kinda see, music as a better version of just chatting,
Okay.
and I think that with music comes, I guess, a sense of community, and then, I think they realize that, and I think that's why there's so much focus on, I guess, putting musicians on the front page because they kind of have an inkling that this is where things are gonna go.
Okay. I think that's a good take. I think I agree with you. It's I have my own opinions because of how TwitchCon was.
Oh, okay,
And
I wasn't there, actually. Tell me a little bit about that.
it was good. But I found far more value in everything that happened outside of
Yeah.
TwitchCon than what actually happened at the con. And that's just because the music section was small. It was back tucked away into the top corner of the venue, the place. Like music was an afterthought. And I think if they want it to grow, they need to make sure that they make music a feature, not an afterthought. And that's not negative on them either. I mean, it makes sense that people go there to go to the gaming streamers and go to all that stuff. But if they see a big music section where somebody's playing Sweet Child of Mine and it's Tom and Kenny, they're gonna stay. They're gonna want to see that while they're having their drinks.
But then I kind of think is like the opportunity isn't in TwitchCon in that respects. I think the opportunity is everyone who's doing things outside of Twitch sanctioned events. So like I look at
Right.
Mogul House as like these guys are going to be in a perfect position once Twitch eventually gets to a part where
Right.
Twitch music gets to explode
Mhm.
and the viewer numbers skyrocket. Like these guys are already making great content. They're
Yeah.
already holding great events. Like, how easy would it be for Twitch just to be like, "Hey, Mogul House, you are now Twitch sanctioned. We're going to bring you over and get you guys to run this." Like
Right.
that's where the opportunity is. Like folks doing
Yeah.
these kinds of events outside of Twitch, it's like you guys are going to kill it. It's just like, how long will it take to get to that point
Right.
where things explode?
Right. And I mean, that's been our goal. That was our goal last year. And I'm pretty sure we had some conversations, but all in all, it just didn't make sense
Yeah.
at the time because it wasn't. We had more opportunity outside of the event, and I don't think TwitchCon is the end all be all, but that will be a tell of how far the music community comes. If next TwitchCon becomes a larger music area, that's when I'll know, okay, they're taking this more seriously because
Well, I think you'll know when they take it more seriously is when you have like, I don't know, like a Phineas or a just another huge
yeah.
artist be like, all right, I'm now gonna dedicate a portion of like you have like Matt Hafey from
Mhm.
Trivium
Yeah.
stream everything. Like
Yeah.
once you start to see more like mainstream folks coming on Twitch and do
Yeah.
like that's when you know it's like this is the mainstream.
And I think more people are realizing it as the days go on. Like I think I was even blind to the amount of musicians who I know that stream on Twitch. And a lot of the ones that I know that are larger, like I know personally, which are very few, but a few, um, they're like, yeah, I'm considering it. And like there's even artists like, Matt Walden. I
Yeah.
mean, Matt Walden doesn't need to stream on Twitch, but he does because he likes
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like some people are going to see it as a business and some people are going to see it as a hobby. And then some people are just going to see it as them doing what they do with a camera on. And I
But
think,
that's like with Matt Walden particularly, like I just want to jump in because like I didn't even realize like how big that dude was. Like I knew he got a couple hundred people watching him, but like I look at all the stuff that happens off stream. Dude is a crazy, crazy artist.
I aspire to be the level of cool that Matt Walden has achieved. Like I I I just look at Matt's
That's
stream and
dope.
I'm like, it looks beautiful. His content off stream is beautiful. Like his music is beautiful. It's like just this circle that just continues to cycle. And it's like he's honestly one of the main reasons I've been like, I need a new camera. Because like I sit here and I'm like, I watch a stream and I'm just like, the bokeh in the back and the lens and it's like here and it looks great and he's doing this live loop and it's just
Do you know that Matt Walden was the reason I started streaming on Twitch?
really
Yeah, really. Yeah.
that doesn't surprise me one bit. Not a bit.
I was streaming on Reddit before, and I hopped on. Yeah, Reddit has
Pause.
really. Yeah,
You streamed on Reddit.
yeah.
How did you feel about it?
Um, I like my bit of my backstory. I played guitar, piano, singing, like all early parts of my life,
Mhm,
and gave it up. Picked it up during COVID. I hadn't played music for about 12 years.
mhm.
So I was doing all these lessons. I was practicing a lot, but I'm not sure if you know about Melbourne, Australia, having like the longest lockdown in the world. Like
Yes,
we were
I
locked
did,
down for, like,
yes.
4 months or something like that.
Yeah,
And I didn't have any opportunity to play live because I'm like, I really want to do like open mic nights. I really
yeah,
want to do like busking. Like I want to get out there and like play with all these
yeah,
like skills I've been practicing. And I didn't come across Twitch first. I came across
right,
Reddit.
yeah.
And then on my second stream, I had 6,000 viewers
On Reddit?
on Reddit because they
Wow.
put you on the front page sometimes.
Okay,
As you're scrolling, people can actually come and click on your stream.
right,
And if you kind of hit the algorithm at the right point, like, man,
right,
6,000 people. I'm like, I've just played to a football stadium.
right,
And this kind of like that kind of like opened my eyes to the possibility of like live streaming.
right.
But there were no mechanisms to build an audience. There was no like, hey, I'm live now notification going out to
Right.
them. So I just
It's
wanted
all
to,
based in subreddits that you have to then yeah,
yeah.
right,
I wanted a way to build a community and kind of like engage with folks a bit more.
right,
And one night I'm like, all right, maybe Twitch has something that I could do. And Matt Walden was streaming. And I'm like, I was looking at everything that was happening. I was looking at everything that you described before, like
right,
the looping, just the camera, the engagement, the emotes, like
right.
everything was just like, fuck, this is just
Yeah.
exudes cool. But the thing that sold me was Songless Bot.
Yes, a lifesaver. A lifesaver. Oh my goodness. The amount of times that, like, I've thought, "What if I didn't have Songless Spot?" And I immediately, like, midway through the thought, I'm like, "I don't even wanna think about it. Nope. Done.
There is no
Not thinking
reality
about it."
stream without Songless Bot.
Totally. And it's like, I don't know who created that, but thank you. I
Thank you, creator of Songless Bot. We appreciate you and your work.
exactly, like, I just yes, you're right, 100%. Songless Bot too, like, the way that Matt uses it with his, like, little overlay in the corner, it's clean, it looks great, like, I've never found a way to do that on my stream that I've liked, so I've stayed away from it for now, and just kinda had it in chat, um,
I do
but
the same. I
yeah,
want to keep it clean, simple. But if I could have it nice and clean, I probably would. But
right.
I just keep things as is.
Right. So does that look more attractive to you? Do you like it when people have a bunch of things going on, or do you like it when it's a nice clean cut frame where you're just kind of watching them do their thing?
I think that, and it's kind of negative because I think a lot of the Twitch isms have kind of crossed over from gaming to music.
Yeah.
And I say that in the respects of, crazy overlays and like bars and everything.
Mhm.
Like I think the way I look at my stream is this is a performance.
Right.
Everything that I have in my stream is intentional. I've thought about every aspect of what you see in this camera,
Yeah.
and I don't want anything to distract you from what's happening right here.
Right.
So I have my alerts as like I'm really into anime, so like I have my alerts
Mhm.
set to like a bunch of anime gifs. So people like like personality. I know Aiden likes anime now, but
Right.
everything else is just like I keep things simple to have it all focused. Like I don't like having chat on the screen. I don't like having.
Oh, that is okay. I'm glad you said it because that is exactly the thing that I dislike. Matt Walden's is the only one I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. And Closure. Those two I'm like, okay, they have it in a way where it looks fine.
I have to do it really well though.
It has to be perfect. And the thing is like I don't see a place on this is my stream setup.
Yeah.
I don't see a place where I could be like, yeah, I'm gonna stick chat here. it doesn't look right. It feels off. It looks like I'm looking at chat. It doesn't I don't like it. And like chat on screen, crazy overlays. I mean, I'm not about it. I'm
And
not
it's
about
like I said, it came over. I think like my theory is it came over from like Twitch gaming because
it.
like that's
100%.
pretty prolific. But think about it from the terms of like the camera. What you actually see of the
Yeah.
streamer is like this big.
Right. Versus what it could be if you just kept it clean,
Yeah.
kept it open. And I think a lot of it also becomes what type of camera do you have? Do you have enough of a camera for it to look good? Do you feel like you need to have that to hide the fact that you can't afford a good camera? When in reality, what it could be is that's why you set a donation goal for people to get you a better camera to stream so they can watch you better. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of different thoughts I have on that, but every music streamer I've talked to said, "I love your simple overlay. You don't have it complicated. I love this simple overlay." I've never heard somebody say, "I love it when there's like a huge chat on the screen." Even my
Yeah.
chat doesn't like it.
Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
that kind of like begs the question though. Kind of going back to when you first started, because
Yeah.
what I want this to be as well is I guess if I'm like one of my viewers and
Mhm.
I see Aiden streaming 3 times a week, I see him chatting to other, creators. I want this kind of conversation to be like the thing someone might need to kind of pull the trigger
Oh, yeah.
and take a plunge in this thing that is coming that is going to take over Twitch. That
Can I
I
be
believe,
that guy?
yeah, be that
You
guy.
need literally nothing.
Yeah.
You need, if you're doing music, you need a guitar and you need a phone. That's as much as you need. Like, that's it.
Have you heard of a creator called Spirit Lana?
That name sounds familiar. I'm not placing it, but that sounds super familiar.
Spirit Lana has a guitar, her phone camera, a candle, and that is her stream. And
Cool.
she grew to 7,500 followers in a year and a half just streaming from her phone. And like I look at that and I think anyone can stream.
It's ridiculous to me, and I'm guilty of this, how focused people are on the quality of the content when in reality you're not getting any content out at all. And so many people are like, "Oh, quality content, quality content, quality content." It's like not quality content if you're not having anything. Like,
Yes.
you can't
Yes.
get quality without any quantity. Like, that doesn't happen. 0 isn't what was it that you said? It was the
1 is greater than 0.
precisely. So it's if 1 is greater than if 1 is always greater than 0, get content. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, if you are looking to stream, hit start stream. Doesn't matter if you have a mod, doesn't matter if you have an overlay, it doesn't matter if you have a chat, it doesn't matter if you even have song list bot yet. Stick on there, play some music, go in the music category, play a couple songs you like, play for a couple hours, see if anybody joins. If anybody wants to help you out, they will. And I think like ultimately you just have to see what it's like to be on the platform. And there are plenty of ways that you can kind of figure out an overlay or things like that, but you don't need an overlay. You don't need all this stuff. Link yourself up with some form of OBS if you can. If you can't stream from your phone, and just go. It's just the excuses were what almost got me to not stream, and now I'm almost at 1,000 followers on Twitch in less than a year. So
That's sick.
I
That's
I can't complain about that. Like, and I can't tell myself that wasn't worth it. You know?
It's just the reality of what is happening right now is you have things like Twitch. I see Twitch music as this pool. Like Twitch music is like its own indie record label where
Oh
you
yeah,
have a place to go to build an audience that has never existed. And I think I really do need to get Closure Club on this
oh
because
yeah.
I remember him talking about why he streamed on Twitch, and it stuck with me forever. I could go play like a live show. I could play to 20 to 30 people. Maybe 10% of people like my music because I have a pretty eclectic taste of sad boy kind of ambient music, which
Mhm.
is not for everyone. But when I stream on Twitch, I have the potential to reach thousands, hundreds, thousands of people. And every person, there's a chance that, that 10% might still exist where they might like my music, but the access to potential audience and community is just I just don't wanna play live because of that. I feel like
Mhm.
tearing everything up, going to the gig, setting everything up, performing, packing it up, coming back, and then setting up a stream is just like, why would
Right,
I do that when I could just sit here in front of this camera and stream, right?
right, and I think, like I like to think of Twitch as my gateway.
Yeah.
I've played shows before, and it's been fine, and people, reacted positively to them, but Twitch is my gateway to gaining interaction with the people that I'm playing to, and gaining skill as to exactly what my craft is, which is just kinda honing in on the songs. I mean, one of the beautiful, absolutely beautiful things about my stream that has humbled me and made me proud of myself in ways that I've never been before was that people like I have not been requested more than my original songs. No cover has topped my original songs on Streamer Song List, and
Same with me. Yeah.
yeah, and it's beautiful. It makes me feel like, "Okay, I can write a song." And, I think one of the things is, like, realizing how much people wanted me to live write and how much people I was like, "Oh, that's what I'm good at." Like, people love when I play guitar solos over songs and stuff like that because I know I'm decent at that. Like, I've been practicing that for years. Like, that's what I liked doing before I knew how to write songs, and songwriting was such a raw place because I was like, "I don't know if I'm good at that."
Mm.
And so, kind of this whole thought is just like I feel that it gives you this gateway into honing in exactly what you're good at and what people resonate with. And like most of my best streams have been the ones where I live write.
That's yeah, that I've never thought about it like that before, but now that I think back on, like, why do people engage with me the way that I do? It's because I do a specific set of things that I've now come to understand is, like, these are my strengths.
Right.
Wow, that's
Well, and think about it this way too.
wow.
The music industry, okay, we were talking about how it kind of always felt like you had to compete with other people, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's kind of like the music industry. Or like think about how uh people basically kind of always told you like, "Oh, you never wanna be genred
Yeah.
because then you can't do this and you can't do that." I think that's a load of BS. Like, I think it's 100% possible for you to do whatever you want, especially when you don't have a label. Do you have a label telling you what to do when you stream? So then who's to say you can't put on a metal show tomorrow? Like, it doesn't.
Bon Iver, and then went straight into Britney Spears, into some Backstreet Boys, and then some Damien Rice.
So, my whole point is you're putting so much of your flavor on that,
Yeah.
that at a certain point people go, "I like the way he did that."
Yeah.
And then they come back for that. And the whole thing is you end up genred so specifically that it's like, "Oh, you can do whatever you want in that genre now because it's you."
It's not even that though. It's like I was gonna say, like, you are genred as yourself.
Right. Exactly. That's what I mean is like people people market me when they talk about me as I raid or anything like that as a blues musician. And
Yeah.
I don't see I've played blues all my life. Like I grew up in it, but I don't see the things that I put out as blues. Like it's folk or, like it has blues influence. That's the difference. And so
Mm.
the whole thing is like when people try to genre you like that, what I find is that I used to be so afraid of it, and I'm so, like, offended when somebody was like, "Oh, I'm a blues musician," and I'd be like, "I'm not just a blues musician. I'm so much more than that."
Oh, I
And
can do other things, please.
right, and then you kinda get to the point where you realize, no, that's just what somebody's hearing and enjoying,
Yeah.
and they're trying to point out, "He's amazing at doing this." "She's amazing at doing that. They're amazing at doing this." Like, all of that, it's like that is a whole nother reason to get into Twitch because it gives you an insight as to what other people think you're good at. And while it doesn't matter all the time, it gives you a genre to work in. If you're like, wow, I'm people really resonate with this type of music of mine. Oh, cool. Then when I release a new song, I'm gonna produce it in a way where it's a folk song. Like people like my
So
folk music a lot.
so I guess, like, I've got a question for you.
Sure.
Since starting on Twitch, I guess have people or have you discovered things about yourself that you didn't know before through this process?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. And not in a bad way. It's just like
Getting you to think. I'm putting you on the spot here.
that. Yeah. Well, there's just a lot. Um,
First thing comes to mind.
First thing that comes to mind. Um, I mean, I talked a little bit about it. I feel like I didn't really realize how strong my lyricism was
Mm,
until Twitch, because people would be like, "Wow, I really felt that." And I was like, "Okay, nobody's ever told me that, because nobody does that on Instagram. Nobody does that on Twitter. Like, it just doesn't happen. People aren't like, 'Oh, I loved this lyric,' unless you're John Mayer or whatever. Like, you're not getting a retweet unless you're somebody big."
yeah.
And this was somebody directly telling me as I was singing it, as I was writing it, "I like that lyric." I didn't have to go to someone and say, "Hey, do you like this song?" And then wonder if they really meant what they said. Somebody told me as it was happening. I knew it. And so what it made me realize is that I'm good at that. Um, but it also made me like realize that I think the most important thing is it made me realize the things I'm not good at,
Mm.
and eliminating those or getting better at those things. And I think that's just as important.
So when you say that, do you watch your streams back? Do you listen and go like,
Sometimes I think most of it is reaction based.
yeah,
Uh, like if I do poorly in a stream, sometimes it's just because of time zones.
mm,
And sometimes it's just because I wasn't doing well and it wasn't really a good stream. And realizing when it's time to stop and realizing when it's time to keep going and, push through it, all that stuff. I mean, there's been streams where I played too much electric and people
yeah,
are like, I just kind of wanted to chill today. And like, you kind of have to read the mood, but there's also some of those undoubtables that are like, oh, I didn't do that well.
yeah,
Like that song doesn't fit me,
yeah,
or, that version of this song doesn't fit me. That key isn't my key. That thing isn't this. One of the things that for a long time I didn't feel confident about until recently, until watching Matt Walden a lot, I was really inspired to get into live looping again,
yeah,
because I haven't live looped in years. And so I have this pedal, been using like the RC one or whatever,
yeah.
just to kind of get back into it. But I have like an RC 50 or something, and I'm gonna start using that on stream very soon. But it's like that was one thing that I realized, like my strength and my weakness are one and the same, and it's that I'm just one person playing music,
Yep.
and I'm one person playing a guitar. So I had to kind of realize that if I want a song to sound the way that I hear it in my head and I want to portray that, and those ones that have failed because of that,
Mm.
oh, this didn't work for me. Well, that's because you didn't have the 18 elements that are in that song. You can't play Africa by Toto on an acoustic guitar and have a solo over it and that's it. Like you have to have some other elements if you want it to be that big grand thing.
Yeah, yeah,
But you can strip it down 100%, but that's not always going to resonate with the way you want to do it. And so realizing that live looping, although I at first kind of thought, oh, this is kind of kitschy, like this isn't really my thing. I like the live band idea. I mean, that's been one of those things that I had to realize, okay, there are certain songs that I just have to loop and certain songs that I can't. You can't loop this song. Like there's been songs that I've tried to loop that I'm like, this just doesn't work. I have to play it on an acoustic guitar or electric guitar and that's it. So
it's
yeah.
really funny because you went like I kind of see my streams as like I kind of love the thought or the feeling of like I'm performing as a one person band.
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out how to play songs that you would normally expect to have like, a couple guitars, piano,
Right.
bass, drums.
Right.
Like this is my way of just taking that all back and just singing to you as one musician.
Right.
And
Well,
that's
and
kind of like, yeah.
yeah, I think that's like maybe I can rephrase that. I think it's not a weakness, or I don't think that that song doesn't work because it's a single piano and vocal or a single guitar and vocal. But the way that I'm thinking of it in my head might not portray the same as I want it to because I didn't have those extra elements. So if I'm
Yeah.
trying to do like Thriller by Michael Jackson, I can do a really cool acoustic version. But if that's not the vibe that I want to go for and I was
Yeah.
expecting something else, I'm always gonna feel worse about that because it didn't meet my standard. So, like, in that case, my thought kind of goes to, "Oh, wow, I wish I live looped that because of this." So, I think more so talking about, like, the strength and weakness, it's knowing when I need to edit myself or when I need to let myself free. And that's kind of like I think that's more of what I mean is not necessarily that one or the other is bad, but
Mm,
one or the other fitting the mood will make a stream bad depending on how you react to it. Like if you're like, "Oh, I really wanna do this song, but I'm not gonna live loop it," and you're thinking of a live loop, you're
yeah,
an idiot. Just live loop it. Like, you're gonna have more fun with it and people are gonna engage with that, you know? Um, so that's something I've had to learn is my weakness is just kind of going, "Oh, this is convenient." Whereas, like or even just realize like, thinking, "Oh, I don't wanna spend this amount of time live looping this because then chat's gonna get bored." It's like, no, actually, I had a stream that was almost entirely live loops, and it was one of my best ones. It was super fun, people were just hanging out and vibing, and it
I
was
think that's the thing
awesome.
though, it's really cool seeing someone, like, just kinda go through the motions of setting one up, you
Yeah,
know? Like, I just
yeah,
love watching Matt or,
yeah.
um, I'm there's a French Canadian streamer that I really love,
Oh, Julian.
Julian.
Julian
Oh,
Bellhumor. Oh my goodness, he is ridiculous.
I have a man crush on him. Honestly, just
He's
watching
a
him do his
legend.
thing is
I consider him Canadian Heathy, to be honest. Canadian Closure. He's just I mean, does he not just exude Heathy vibes? It's
cool.
the pop punk cool I mean, Closure's got the neon, he's got the morning,
Yeah,
He's got
yeah.
the morning pop punk, just woke up, decided to stream today, have my diffuser on in the background, let me just hang out for a little bit and do my songs.
So, Darin, we're
Watch
coming up to the end of the chat. I only wanted to grab you for an hour, and
Sure.
we've definitely gone over.
Sorry.
No, no, don't apologize. Entirely my fault. I always find it really interesting to hear folks talk about, I guess, especially on Twitch, obviously focusing on Twitch, but also like musical influences. Like, I would say that me as a musician now is a culmination of everything that I've seen, interacted with, learned from on Twitch over the last, year and a half.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really curious to hear, like, who are your influences and kind of like what have you taken from them and kind of how did you add that to your performance?
So are you talking about, like, specifically in the Twitch world, or are you just saying in
Yeah,
general?
anything, but yeah, in general.
Um, I mean, I'd be lying if I mean, I'm wearing a John Mayer shirt, of course. Of course, John Mayer is a huge influence on me, songwriting, guitar playing. I grew up playing blues music
Yeah,
with my dad, and, so I decided to really kinda go into guitar work, but when I started songwriting, it was Bob Dylan, The Head and the Heart,
yeah.
um, Mumford& and Sons, things like that. I got really into folk, um, and, like, just honestly, it's hard to say because so many people do influence me, but, like, right now, it's been some of my friends,
Mm.
um, Closure Club, Matt Walden, yourself, like, there's people out there that are like I'm just looking and I'm like, "Okay, this is what my friends are doing, like, this is pretty crazy," and so I think I've been blessed to have friends in the music world, and it's just been right now, of all times, I've been listening to the least amount of music on Spotify and the most amount of music on other
Isn't that
platforms.
crazy? I realized the other day in a year and a half, like, I was looking at my Spotify recap for 2022, I've listened to fuck all music. I don't
Yep,
if I don't hear it on a Twitch
yep.
stream, I will probably not listen to a particular song.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so interesting.
yeah, it's like, unless one of my top artists drops a song
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Oh, I'm ready for this, like, I wanna hear this," I'm not really on Spotify that much. I'll put on my playlist, but it's all music that I've listened to, years. It's it's all the same. And I will pop on, new playlists to listen to new artists, and I like doing that. I have a little thing coming up that's a challenge for all you that work out. I have a challenge for you coming up. So regarding Spotify, or Apple Music, whatever you have, but um I do that because I like to find the little guy. But I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to find it's becoming so congested in the world of Spotify and Apple Music and all these platforms that it's like Twitch is a nice breather because it's like, oh, what are you doing that hasn't been out yet? Like, what am I getting to see before you've released it? Like the amount of Closure tunes that I've listened to, like have one of his CDs of some demos in my car, and I was just listening and I was like, this is fantastic. Like when he releases this is gonna go crazy. Like, so I think my friends have been inspiring me the most. And that's just kind of, I like that because that means that I'm around the right people, and I'm around the right circle, and yeah, I
I
feel
think
good
the
about
thing
it.
that sums up Twitch music for me is the access to musicians and creators that you wouldn't normally interact with.
100%.
Because I would say that my stream is an influence of Julian, Matt Walden, Sauvey Music,
Yeah.
Haley, Hazy. Like I kind of take things
Yeah.
from people that I kind of admire, and this is kind of the result of the stuff that I've seen and looked at.
Right. Right. And that's the thing is like, Twitch will give you an exact representation of what it is that you're pulling from and what it is that you're being influenced by. And I think Twitch, I mean, we talked a lot about Twitch, and it's because right now, I think as streamers, or at least as musicians that stream, if we wanna get a little bit less uh, title wise, let's just call ourselves musicians that stream. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
As
That-
that, like, I feel that you see the influence in my stream more than anything because the way I want to portray a song, I can use months to work on that. I can say, yeah, like this is the production. I finalize it. I'm working on a song right now. And it's like, that's great. I'm going to portray that exactly the way I wanted to. But if you want to see the raw me, the me that just has the influence already, the one that's there, just come watch my stream. And then you'll see exactly what happens. So I think it's beautiful. Like, I love the influence that other streamers have given me.
and finishing up, is there anything that you want to shout out? Anything you're working on? Anything you want to plug?
Ah, man, I was just in meeting with the Mogul guys. For the short term, I'm gonna be hosting this Saturday a really
Woo!
awesome artist that is actually a dear friend of mine. So I'm very, very excited to get to do that. But I'm releasing some music soon. And
Whoa.
I'm not officially allowed to release the date yet.
Okay.
Um,
It's kind of more watch this space kind of vibes.
but
But
but when are you posting this? When are you
I'm gonna edit it and probably post it next week.
next week? Okay. I'm gonna drop the date. I'm gonna drop an exclusive date for you.
Okay.
And
All right.
if we have everything finalized, I think we will.
Next week
You'll be
being
fine.
the 7th of, well, probably the 9th of Feb, I think.
Oh, then you should probably be fine.
Yeah.
I'm dropping a song on March 14th. It's called Wildflowers and Rain. And I'm really excited. It's one that Stream knows a lot, and it's one of the first ones I did at Mogul House when I was there. And they're coming alongside me and helping me release it and
So
doing
cool.
a couple extra things on the side that I can't say. But there's going to be a performance involved, and there's going to be a couple other things involved. And I'm just really excited. It's the first time I've really felt this is honestly feels like my debut. I've released music on Spotify before, but this feels like the first time I'm releasing something that's like I have a team with me. They're helping me. They're getting this to where I would like it to be while also maintaining integrity of what we do at Mobile, which is like, I mean, I couldn't have asked for more. And so I'm very excited, but March 14th, mark your calendars. That's the date. Comes out. It'll probably be early for some of you, but March 14th. That's it.
Well, dude, we're excited. And I have to say thank you again for being the first guest of
my
We
goodness.
Might Be Crazy, and again for influencing, kind of putting the little seed in my head that kind of got me to do this, because this is going to
Thank
be a lot
you.
of fun. You guys can catch Darin on Twitch. I'll put all of his socials below in the bio on YouTube. Yeah, thanks for coming on again, dude. Really
Oh,
appreciate
thank
your
you
time.
for having me. Seriously, it was awesome. Thank you for,
Super fun.
uh, I guess thanks for
Good about
taking the
yes,
inspiration.
man. This is actually like I can't believe it's been like an hour and a half. I feel like we've just been chatting for like 20 minutes. It's
Oh,
kind of
I could go for another couple hours. Yeah, but thank you so much for having me. It was awesome. I'm glad I could inspire some. You're
oh my
good.
god.
Your recording started.
Oh.
Blooper reel.
It's like I can't even get a blooper reel from that.
No, we can't, but that's okay.
Get our reaction now.
That's okay. That this will be the best reel and TikTok clip of all. Y'all, Aiden forgot to record for like, well, how long have we been?
We've been
For
talking for
like 20
15
minutes.
minutes.
15
Yeah,
minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.
Somebody to do something so awesome. Like that's crazy to me. That's mind blowing.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great series, man. You were such a fantastic first guest, man. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
thank you so much for having me. I was just glad to be here. You're
Oh my
good.
god.
Your recording started.
Oh.
Blooper reel.
It's like I can't even get a blooper reel from that.
No, we can't, but that's okay.
Get our reaction now.
That's okay. That this will be the best reel and TikTok clip of all. Y'all, Aiden forgot to record for like, well, how long have we been?
We've been
For
talking for
like
15
20 minutes.
minutes.
15
Yeah,
minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.